this deck is called the Examon deck, and this is like a brief profile of what I used and how I used it. So there, if you haven't, subscribed yet to my channel, please do so. It will mean a lot. And if you like this video, click on like. If you like the build, you can share it, and if you have any comments, do post it down. Okay, so let's start off with the X3s. So I started with the Digimon. So Digimon, this is a new card from X3 that I used. The ESS, what we call the inherited effect down at the bottom, is at all turns, if this Digimon has a Dramon or Examon in its name, it becomes unsuspended. It gets 1k for the turn, and that's for all turns. So it's an additional DP, it's an additional power. 1k can make a difference. So let's get on with the next card that I use. I'm going from level 2s to level 3s to level 6s, and then options, Tamers, and one-offs. So let's go with level 3. The one that runs the deck would be the new X3 Dracomon. Dracomon, it has an ability, an on-play ability, to reveal top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 blue or green card with a Dramon in its name and 1 card with Examon in its name among them to your hand. Return the remaining cards to the bottom of the deck in any order. It also has the same Digimon inherited effect, but this time if it becomes suspended, then it gets 1k plus 1k DP for the end of the turn. So that's for all turns. So it's a good searcher. It's you can search or you can filter through your deck if your hand card isn't that good yet. The next level 3 would be another Dracomon. Dracomon from, I believe this is from an ST8 way back a couple of boosters before. So this Dracomon is the same as this Dracomon, but this one, it says you can reveal up to 3 cards. No, not up to 3, but reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and from them you can choose 1 Digimon with Dramon in its name, regardless of what level they are. So if it's a Dramon, so the difference between this one and this one you can get 2 if there is an Examon and there is a Dramon in the cards that you filtered through. This one, if you just have 1 Dramon in its, or you can just get 1 from the 3 Dramons, or from the 3 that you check meeting its requirements. So there's that. And then next, so I'm running 4 of each, by the way. That's the max. For this one, I'm running 3 Demons from X1. So why am I running this? Because of its inherited skill that once per turn, if this Digimon becomes unsuspended, you gain 1 memory. And sometimes 1 memory is a finisher. So there's that. Also, it's blue. So the deck profile for this one is actually a blue-green deck. So that's it for the level 3s. It's a total of 11. Next, I'll go with the Pale Dramon. Spelled P-A-L-E. So Beldramon, its digivolution effect is to trash one of your opponent's digivolution source. So you can choose, like for example, if it's a level 6 Digimon, then you digivolve to this one. Well, I mean your opponent's got a level 6 Digimon, and you digivolve to this one from this one, or from any level 3s. Then you can remove any of their level 5 or lower Digimons in its source. Its inherited effect is also great. For all turns, or I think it's for an opponent's turn, when they're digivolving from a Digimon without an evolution source, you gain +1 memory. So there's that. That's like the digivolution tax, right? So next would be the ST Cordramon. So ST Cordramon is actually a great Digimon, since this is a security Digimon, that's what we call it. Its on-play effect is, on play, draw 2 cards, so it's a great value. If it's hit in security, what will happen is that it will activate the on-play effect. So if it's in security, your opponent checks it, it goes to your battlefield, activating its on-play effect, draw 2 cards, right? So that's a value, right? So moving on, we've got 4 level 4 Cordramon Green. The inherited skill is if this Digimon has a Dramon or Examon to its name, it gains blocker, or it's a blocker, and then its skill itself, it's in Japanese, but it's a blocker. So it's a 6k blocker. It can digivolve 2 from Dracomon, so that's good. So we've got a lot of those in our deck. So like for example, this one, Dracomon. Dracomon actually digivolves 1, if you can see. It's blurred, so it's 1 from any DigiEggs. But if it's a Bebidamon, you can digivolve it for free. So there's that. Moving on. We've got our level 5s. So the first level 5, so we're just running 8 level 5s, by the way. And I'm running how many of this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. So 11 level 3s, 10 level 4s, 8 level 5s. So it's a pretty thin deck, but you'll get, you'll get what you need. So that's cool. So our first level 5 is Wingdramon. Its inherited skill is Evade, and that Evade can save your Digimon from being deleted by effects or through battle, if it can evade. So Evade is a skill wherein you suspend your Digimon to save it from being deleted. So it can be bounced, so I'm running 4 of these. It can be bounced to the deck, to the bottom of the deck. It can be bounced to the hand, but deletion is one of the scariest way for a Digimon to be deleted, of course. So we're running 4 of those. We're also running 4 of the new Groundramon. So Groundramon's skill is also the same as the green Cordramon. This one is if it has an Examon or a Dracomon or a Dramon in its name, it's a blocker. Also, it's a blocker by itself, so it's fine. Both of these cards can be digivolved to a Cordramon. Since I have this one, to a Cordramon by 3. However, if you digivolve them from a Pildramon, it's for 4. So that's the only downside to that one. Also, both of these cards have an end of turn effect. If you have an Examon in your hand and you have both of these in play, so for example, on your turn you were able to digivolve up until level 5 Groundramon, and then you hardcast a level 7 if you have still enough memory. Then at that point you can digivolve for Jogress or DNA digivolve into Examon, and we'll tackle Examon later on. But before we get to Examon, let's first go to some of our level 6s. So I'm running 8 level 6s. It's unconventional, but it's pretty fun. So let's start with the first. So of course this is an X3 deck, so I'm running 2 Breakdramon. So the Breakdramon effect, as you can see, this is one of the level 6s, so it has an inherited effect. So this one, it says here digivolve for 3 from either a Wingdramon or a a Groundromon, so you can digivolve for 3. And then the ESS effect, if you delete a Digimon using a Dramon and your Digimon survives that turn or that battle, once per turn you are able to trash the security. Trash one security, so once per turn. So if you have 2 of these, then you were able to delete an opponent's Digimon, maybe a level 2, level 3, level 3 to level 5 Digimon, by just swinging at it, and you get to trash 2 securities, and that's a game winner. So other than that, this card has 2 other effects. So yeah, another effect, by the way. So that's both the ESS. The first one I mentioned is both the ESS and one of its effect. The other effect, though, is pretty cool. The other effect says, if this Digimon becomes suspended, you may suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So that will come in play later on. So we have 4 Slayer Dramon. So this is one of the decks that could control your opponent's board state, if I may say. The ESS, or the inherited effect, is at the start of your opponent's main phase, you may suspend a Digimon with a Dramon in its name, and they are forced to attack with one of their Digimons at the start of main phase. So if they decided to raise a Digimon, you may suspend him or another Dramon in its name. So we have a Ground Dramon, a Break Dramon, a Wing Dramon, a Core Dramon, a Slayer Dramon, and then we have another Dramon that's coming up. So you can suspend it, any Dramons, at the start of your opponent's main turn for them to attack forcefully. So there's that. So if you have an inherited skill, that's cool. Blocker skill, by the way, that's cool. So the other effect, so it's like a break Dramon. However, the other effect of this, or the other, I forgot what I call this one. The other card effect, or card skill, rather. Let's go with that one. Card skill is, if it suspends once per turn, it can unsuspend itself. So it goes like this. So you suspend it, and then you unsuspend it. Someone attacks, and if it's on top of a Break Dramon or a Ground Dramon, you can suspend it to block it. So that's value, right? So the tech for level 6s would be 2 Imperial Dramon Dragon Mode. So why? Number 1, it's a Dramon in its name. The other one is an ESS, it's skill. So you can play a level 4, 2, or one of each rather. One level 4 that's colored blue or green lower. So you can play 2. So if your Digivolution source looks like this is the most optimal one, I should say. Well, it depends on what kind of play you're actually looking for. So if your Digivolution source would somehow look like this, you have a Dracomon, a Core Dramon, and a Ground Dramon, and then you digivolved it to Imperial. What will happen is that you can play both of these cards and then activate both of these cards, which is either draw 2 or reveal top 4. So there's that. So that's a pretty cool trick. It helped me on several occasions, on a lot of occasions rather, yesterday. So it's fun. It's fun to use. Also, it's a Dramon, so this one will activate, this one will activate, it's a blocker as well. And you can suspend it for if you have a Slayer Dramon in its field, or on your field rather. So let's go with the boss, of course, Examon. So Examon's effect is you can DNA Jogress Digivolution, or whatever you call it, for free. And when you do that, you can summon or special summon a anything with a Dramon in its name that's cost 12 or below, or 13k below, I believe. Yeah, DP 12k below. So it's DP base summon. So you can summon a Slayer Dramon, and then you can summon or rather you can summon a Break Dramon. However, the DNA Digivolution says if this was Jogress Digivolve, or Digivolve using DNA, having 2 Digimon, something, then what will happen is that you can wait a second. Yeah, the first one, the special summon is for DNA Digivolution, but its effect, the skill itself, if you Digivolve this, you can tuck in, I would say, tuck in a Digimon that's 12k DP below as an inheritable source. So for example, you have both level 7s out there, you don't have anything. However, in your hand you've got this. Let's say you've got a Break and you've got a Slayer. So what you'll do is that you will DNA Digivolve this. Of course, you draw. Let's say you got lucky, you drew a Dracomon, but we're not going to use that. What you can do is you can either choose to which one you could special summon, or you can put under an inheritable source. So there's that. Cool, right? And then all of the things, all of the shenanigans will happen. To spend a Dramon to attack, to force your opponent to attack with one of their Digimons. So it's a very controlling deck. It's not an OTK deck like what I'm used to, but this deck is pretty fun, I should say. So there's that. We have all of our Digimons. Then we can go now to our Tamers and our one-offs, our removals, our utilities. So there's that. Of course, we're going to play 2, and only 2. Davis. So why Davis? Because this is a blue deck. On play, Davis reveals the top 3. You can get 1 of each, or 1 blue, 1 green, and then put the rest in the bottom of the library. Of course, we're playing 1 Mimi. Mimi's effect is if you have a level 5 or higher that's a color green Digimon, you can suspend it to either raise or hatch an egg from the breeding zone. Aside from that, we've got a couple of removals. So let's go with Megadeth. So Megadeth is you can suspend one of your opponent and return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon back to its hand, trashing all the sources. It's good, right? If you hit it in security, you activate its main effect. So there's that. So let's go with another one with Hammer Spark. So Hammer Spark, if it hits security, you gain 2 memory. If you use it for no cost at all, as long as you have a blue Digimon in play or in your breeding area, or a Tamer, then you gain 1 memory. Lifesaver. Memory's a battle, right? So we've got our Ice Wall. Of course, this is a blue deck. And of course, we've got Giga Death. So, okay, let me explain Ice Wall first. Ice Wall is on security, gain 2 memory, then trash the card. It's pointless, right? However, if you can combo Ice Wall for 1 and then DNA Jogress, so its main skill is that on your opponent's turn, when one of your opponent's Digimon attacks, you gain 2 memory. So if you just gave them like 1 memory, then it'll pass to your turn. So there's that. Before they can do anything, any shenanigans, by the way. So let's start with another one, Giga Death. So why am I running Giga Death? I'm running Giga Death because there are decks in my play group or in my local sites that are heavily relying on things or on Digimons that suspends. So the Giga Death skill is that you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and then return up to 10 of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of their library. So that's great, right? However, if it hits security, it's not that great. So if it hits security, you can just suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and one of your opponent's suspended Digimon can go back to the bottom of the library. Not that great. Too much of a cost, 9. Ugh, so it's not that great, in my opinion. But it can help. It can help you in tough times. Let's just hope that you won't need it, right? It's better for it to exist and not need it at all than not exist and then you'll need it. So the last tech card that I have for you guys is Howling Crusher. Howling Crusher is trash all of your opponent's digivolution sources. So for example, if you're in a mirror match and your opponent has, let's say, an Examon in the field, so it's scary, right? And then you have just one Digimon at your breeding area. So, and then he hardcasted, let's say, he hardcasted this one, Wingdramon or Grandimon. And then, let's say that the Digivolution source would look somehow perfect. Let's say there's this, and then let's get another input here. So, okay. So let's say we get this one. This one's pretty cool. And then let's say we get this one too. So this one's at the bottom with either Dracomon or this one. So yeah. Okay. So if this is how the opponent's board look like, here we go. So if this is how the opponent's board would look like, then and only then Howling Crusher gives advantage to you. Why? Because you'll be trashing all of these sources, rendering Examon just to be like a 15k Digimon. I mean, it's big, yeah, but it's not that big. Also, you'll just have one of these, or either, if it's an aggro deck, an aggro Examon deck, so if you go against an Alphamon and then you have a Howling Crusher, it will probably mess up their minds since they won't be able to return their sources to gain memory once per turn if they have an Awaken. If you're battling with a Jesmon deck, then they won't have all of the sources to call on the Sistermons, so there's that too. Aside from that, I could show you guys some of what I previously ran with this deck. So before, I had like 3 or 4 mega decks. So the reason why I kind of held back to this one is because some of the times you need a Digimon instead of an option card to actually win the battle. Aside from that, that's the only reason. So you can swap in, you can mix like three of mega decks, let's say 2, then maybe take 1 out of I don't know. So that's a problem here. The deck is pretty thin. It's pretty narrow in my opinion, but it's a good deck. It can control the board state of your enemy, of your opponent. It can control your opponent's Digimon by forcefully attack, by making them attack you. So if you're like confident that in your security they'll be hitting either a Davis or a Mimi, or let's say a Cordramon, a security Cordramon, so as we have to call it, then you'll be able to just let them attack this security. But this deck is pretty good. It's very flexible. as long as there's a Dramon in its name. So not deviating your from the theme of the deck. So that's how I view Digimon. There's always a theme. So as long as you don't deviate from the theme of the deck, then you're good. You're set to go. So yeah, I mean that's it for my build. If you like it, just click on like, and if you have any comments and suggestions that I could run with this deck, please do so. I know that Modoki Betamon is a good addition to this one, aside from Terriermon, so that if you have an opponent that can gain memory by using either a Hammer Spark or the one that I'm using, this one, they won't. So there's that. So I guess that's it. If you guys like my video, click on like, subscribe. You can comment your experience with your local playgroup. So that's it for me. Ciao.